Let's be honest. Fear of failure is often fear of judgment. And that judgment doesn't always come from you. Maybe it's your boss. Maybe it's your mama. Or maybe it really is that voice in your head saying, girl, you better not mess this up. Sometimes we're not even afraid to fail. We're afraid of what people will think if we do.
Hey, I'm Tine, your pivot and pay strategist. I help Black women double their income by leveraging their existing skills. I am all about getting Black women paid, whether you're an employee or a business owner. And you're listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. Let's go.
Hey, friends. Welcome to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. I'm your host, Tine, your pivot and pay strategist. And today, we're tackling a big one, fear of failure. But before we dive in, if you didn't catch episode 10, go ahead and cue that one up next. We talked about 5 ways to maximize your morning routine for success. Because let's be real, how you start your day can shift how you show up when fear creeps in. And today's episode, we're building right on top of that foundation. Here's the thing. Fear of failure doesn't just live in your head. For so many of us, especially Black women, that fear is tied to real life stakes. Losing credibility, losing income, losing the safety net we worked so hard to build. I see you. But I also see this. Fear doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you care. And that care, that drive, that tells me you're on the right path. So today, I'm walking you through 6 practical, powerful ways to move through that fear and make your next bold move, even if your knees are shaking a little bit. Because here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the path to it. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's jump right into strategy number 1. The first way to overcome the fear of failure is redefine what failure means. Here's the truth. Most of what we call failure is actually feedback. Not getting the job, that's not proof you're not good enough. It might be proof that the role wasn't aligned. That pitch that didn't land, maybe the message needs to be refined, not abandoned. Delay doesn't mean denial. A closed door doesn't always mean no. It might just mean not yet. And listen, when you redefine failure as data, you can take the shame out of it. You get curious. You ask better questions. What did I learn? What can I try differently next time? What worked better than I thought it would? Because when you treat failure like a final verdict, you stop moving. But when you treat it like information, you start evolving. So here's your first reflection. What if this isn't failure? What if it's data? Say it with me. This is not failure. This is feedback. All right, let's keep going. The second way to overcome the fear of failure is unpack who you're afraid of disappointing. Because let's be honest, fear of failure is often fear of judgment. And that judgment doesn't always come from you. Maybe it's your boss. Maybe it's your mama. Or maybe it really is that voice in your head saying, girl, you better not mess this up. Sometimes we're not even afraid to fail. We're afraid of what people will think if we do. And here's the twist. A lot of us inherited that fear. Black women are often raised to carry excellence as protection, to perform perfection. Because we've seen what happens when we fall short, even once. But that constant pressure, that tightrope we walk, it's exhausting. And it's not always ours to carry. So let's pause and check in. Who are you afraid of disappointing? And why do they have that kind of power over your decisions? Even deeper, who taught you that making a mistake means you're unworthy? Because that belief, it's a lie. You are worthy regardless. Let's keep this momentum going. The third way to overcome the fear of failure is break it down, then take the first step. Listen, big moves feel scary because you're trying to hold the whole vision in your hands all at once. You're trying to scale the mountain in a single leap. And no wonder that feels impossible. But you don't have to do all of it today. You just have to start. Start messy. Start scared. Start with what you have. So here's your shift. Instead of asking, how am I going to get all the way there? Ask, what's the very first step? Not the next 10, not the perfect plan, just the first step. That's the move. That's the momentum. Because courage isn't about having every answer. It's about taking that first step before you feel ready. And if you fail on that first step, remember, that's data. Take the feedback and try again. Whew. All right, friend, we've already covered a lot of truth today. You've got new ways to reframe failure, to unpack who you're really trying to please, and to take that first bold step without letting the fear paralyze you. And trust me, we're just getting to the good part. The next 3 strategies, they're about reclaiming your power in real time. And I do not want you to miss them. So stay with me through this quick break. And when we come back, I'll show you how to talk back to fear out loud, build receipts for your resilience, and celebrate the try like it's a win. Be right back. Hey sis, real quick. Ever wish you had a coach in your pocket? For those moments when the strategy isn't clear, the doubt creeps in, or the stakes feel high? Whether you're navigating a tough job convo or making big moves in your business, Pocket Coaching with Tine is that support you've been missing. You drop your question in Slack, and I hit you back with strategy, with clarity, with care, usually within 1 business day. It's $197 a month, and right now, when you sign up, you'll get a free 60-minute Prosperity Power Hour to map out your goals. That one-on-one session is normally $497, and it's yours free when you sign up now. So if you're ready to move different in your work, your money, and your purpose, go to www.gettingblackwomenpaid.com/pocket. Again, that's gettingblackwomenpaid.com/pocket. Let's get you the support you actually need. All right, let's get back to the episode. Welcome back, friend. I'm so glad you're still here because this next one, it's a game changer. The 4th way to overcome the fear of failure is talk back to the fear out loud. Here's what I know. Fear thrives in silence. When you keep it bottled up, it gets louder in your head. But when you speak it out loud, you shrink its power. So go ahead, name the fear. Say what it's telling you, and then challenge it. let your voice be louder than your doubt. Fear says, you're not ready. I say, watch me. Fear says, you're going to fail. I say, that's how I grow. This is more than mindset, it's muscle memory. The more often you speak power over fear, the easier it gets to move through it. So here's your reflection. What's one fear you've been carrying quietly? And what do you want to say back to it out loud? I'm serious about the out loud part. Say it in the car. Say it in the mirror. Say it in the notes app if you have to. But say it. That's how you solidify new pathways in your brain until it becomes a reflex. Let's keep going because your receipts are coming next. The fifth way to overcome the fear of failure is build a fail list. For real. FAIL stands for first attempts in learning. And I need you to start documenting yours. Write down what you tried. Write down what you learned. Write down how you grew. Because even if the result wasn't what you hoped for, the effort still counts. The lesson still matters. This is how you build receipts, not just for your success, but for your resilience. So the next time that fear creeps in, whispering, you're going to mess this up, you've got a list that says, actually, I've already faced worse, and I learned from it. Normalize risk as part of success, not a barrier to it. Because the only people who don't have a fail list are the ones who never tried. So here's something to think about. What's something you tried that didn't go the way you planned? And what did it teach you? Write it down. Then add it to the win column, because courage isn't just in the victory. Courage lives in the trying. All right, time to bring it home with the final strategy. The sixth way to overcome the fear of failure is celebrate tries, not just wins. Here's the thing. We've been taught to only clap when the outcome is perfect, when the deal is closed, when the goal is hit, when the inbox says, congratulations. But listen, you showed up. You sent the pitch. You asked the question. You took the risk. And that matters. Because celebration isn't just about achievement, it's about momentum. And if you wait until the end to clap for yourself, you might never make it that far. So I want you to clap for the try, because that's how we get the triumph. Every step you take while afraid, that's evidence that you're already in motion. So here's your final reflection for today. What's one thing you did recently that scared you, even just a little? And how can you celebrate that right now? Big or small, celebrate it, because your courage deserves confetti too. All right, let's wrap this up with one truth I want you to carry with you. Failure doesn't disqualify you from your dream. It's how you earn it. I'll say that again. Failure doesn't disqualify you from your dream. It's how you earn it. So let's recap the 6 strategies that'll help you move through fear and into action like a boss. 1, redefine what failure means. Because failure isn't the end, it's feedback. 2, unpack who you're afraid of disappointing. Because fear of failure is often fear of judgment. And some of that judgment was never yours to carry. 3, break it down, then take the first step. Because shrinking the goal helps you get started without overwhelm. 4, talk back to the fear out loud. Because when you name the fear, you can challenge it with your own voice. 5, build a fail list for real. Because documenting your first attempts in learning reminds you that trying is progress. And 6, celebrate tries, not just wins. Because the act of showing up scared is something to clap for every single time. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one fail-forward moment you've had lately? Something that didn't go perfectly, but helped you grow anyway. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment and let me know. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can email us at hello@gettingblackwomenpaid.com. I want to celebrate your courage with you. And if this episode hit home, check out Chapter 3 of Overcoming Imposter Syndrome at Work. That chapter digs deep into fear of failure and how to shift your internal narrative so that you can see your power clearly, even when perfectionism tries to cloud it. You can find the book and the audiobook at www.impostersyndromebook.com. The link is in the show notes too. All right, that's it for this one. You're growing, you're learning, you're showing up, and that's success. See you next time.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. If you want to hear more episodes like this one, subscribe wherever you're listening now. And if you love what you heard, be sure to leave us a review. And make sure you share this podcast with the incredible Black women in your life so we can continue getting Black women paid. All right, we'll see you in the next one.